we're just doing it on the phone. You know, you just kind of got to make stuff work somehow. That's just how it is. So for anyone who comes down to Derby in Paradise, when we do it in Costa Rica at the roller rink that I'm making, sometimes you just don't have power, or you don't have water, or you don't have internet, and you just figure it out. Life in the jungle. So go ahead, and I don't know that I'll be able to see your comments, but I do want you to comment. Hi, Lisa. Comment in the chat box with number one, where you are in the world. Where are you in the world? And then number two, is there a goal that you are working towards in Derby right now? Are you trying to level up on your team? Are you trying to get a roster spot? Are you trying to become a starting skater? Are you trying to pass your minimum skills? So comment in the chat box, what is it that you're working towards? Because the reality is if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not getting better at roller derby, you're probably getting worse at it. Because there's really no maintenance. If you get yourself caught in this like maintenance of, oh, I'm just going to maintain where I'm at, there's always someone that's going to be working on getting better than you, right? And so there is this constant state of training to get and maintain these roster spots, right? Hoping I'm going to be able to see your comments, but I think, there we go. Hi, I see you guys. Okay, so there must be a little bit of a delay. That's okay. But awesome. Yeah, so comment, please. Hi, Brandy. I'm just curious, what are you guys working towards, right? Because if you don't know what you're working towards as sort of your overall goal, man, we're losing light fast. If you don't know what you're working towards as your overall goal, then working towards these goals at practice is also going to be a little bit challenging, okay? So you have to know, what is the overall thing that I'm working up? Goodness, sorry. People keep trying to call me for some reason. Hi, Rebecca. So we know what it is that we're working towards, okay? So these are Chrissy Crash's 5 key steps to getting more out of practice so that you can get noticed by your coaches, so that you can level up faster, so that you can get that roster spot. Hi, Kylie, I miss you. Okay, so number one is set specific goals. Okay, and what I mean by this is define clear objectives for every single practice session. Okay, so it's really important that you know, are you working to improve a specific skill, or are you trying to increase your endurance? Okay, so setting specific goals is going to help you stay focused and stay on track. So you can even set a reminder in your phone that goes off maybe 15 minutes before practice starts. And it just is a reminder that says, what's your goal for practice today, right? This could be a way for you to just remind yourself, okay, what is it that I'm working towards long-term, and what am I going to focus on today, right? So just to give you a really great example of this, so I play roller derby here in Costa Rica. I play for a team here in San Jose, and we had practice this weekend. We are getting ready for a tournament in Colombia in October. And so I am relatively new to this team. And so for me, I was walking into this practice, and my goal, my intention that I set for myself during this practice is I wanted to learn specifically how this team works their wall strategy. Okay. So I came into practice. No one told me to do that. The coach isn't telling me that. I came in, I took my own responsibility for my own training, and I said, okay, what is it that I'm working on today? Okay. And so I spent that practice really focused on understanding their wall strategy, seeing how I can fit myself into that wall strategy, and really learning it so that it became an understanding and part of my body mechanics for how I play roller derby. You know, maybe you're working on jumping the apex, or maybe you're working on turnaround toe stops to draw the jammer back. Whatever it is, when you set specific goals, you're going to have a better focus at practice. Cool. Marty says, trying to get fitter, stronger, and faster. I can't out-train a bad diet, so that's important for me, eating clean. Yes, so true, my friend. Awesome. Lisa says, working towards getting a roster spot. I love it. You're in the right spot. Jamaica, I feel like you are also working towards, is it All-Star Team? I feel like I just saw one of your comments on something about it. Marty says, working towards better crossovers, building endurance, giving myself some grace mentally. Yeah. So for example, you could say, okay, at practice today, I'm going to focus on doing better crossovers. And what you could do is then during your warm-up, really intentionally focusing on the mechanics of those crossovers. Oh man, you guys, you gotta see this. It's like, not only is there no power and I have no Wi-Fi, it's just like pouring. Can you see this? It's just like pouring down rain. So hopefully you guys can hear me. We're losing light, everyone. So that's number one, is setting those specific goals, taking your training into your own hands. Number two, to get the more out of practice, get noticed by your coaches and level up, is be consistent and committed. Okay, you have to attend practices regularly and show up being willing to give your best effort. Okay, consistency is going to be key to improving your skills and gaining recognition from coaches. You have to show dedication and you have to show a strong work ethic. Okay, so this is important, is that, showing up mentally ready for practice. You may have had a stressful day of work. You may have had, you may be tired. Maybe you didn't eat so well, right? Who just said that you cannot train a bad diet? Yeah, Marnie. Like maybe you ate really crappy that day. Like you have to make sure that you're doing the things for your body. Number one, if you had a stressful day of work, take a couple minutes, breathe in the car, and then come into practice ready to be focused on practice. Make sure you're eating well throughout the day with the intention of being able to show up and be consistent and committed at practice. Okay, so check yourself when you're at practice. Notice, are you bringing your work stress to practice with you? Notice, are you, taking whatever's going on with you at home and thinking about it on the track? Sometimes I'll notice that maybe while I'm skating, I'm thinking about my to-do list for the next day at work. That doesn't help my to-do list, and it doesn't help my roller derby. So you have to be showing up, but you also have to be really focused. Okay. So if you guys have any aha moments on these, please comment in the chat box with like, oh my gosh, this is the one that I need to work on. Okay. Number 3 is seek feedback. Okay. Don't wait for feedback to come to you. So you can actively ask for feedback from coaches and experienced skaters. So really, if you're going to do it though, you have to take their advice to heart and really work on the areas that need improvement. Because the thing about this is not only is that going to help you get better, but demonstrating your willingness to learn and grow is going to make you stand out. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Samantha. So it's important that, you're really seeking from other people, hey, how could we do this better? A great way to do this is, if you do some kind of a jam start or like you're doing some kind of a drill, after each drill, stop and with the teammates that you were just working with, just really quick say, hey, what did we do well there? How could we have done it better? Right? Or if there's a skater, let's say you set your specific goal for the day, you could go up to one of those more advanced skaters or up to your coach and say, hey, coach, this is my goal for today. If you see me doing anything related to this that I could do better, may I please have feedback? Okay, or you could come up during, like after a specific jam and be like, hey, this didn't feel quite right. Is there any feedback that you have for me? Because you're showing that you're hungry to get better. And this is something that coaches are looking for. Okay, now number 4, push yourself outside of practice. The best way to get more out of practice is by supplementing your regular practices with some really engaging off-skates training and conditioning. So a really simple way, by the way, if you guys haven't checked out rollerderbytrainingclub.com, you can get derby-specific workouts. It's $10 a month. It's a really simple way. If all you need is some active training, it's a really good way to start. Okay, rollerderbytrainingclub.com. So this is things that you're going to want to look for is strength training, cardio exercises, flexibility work, right? Being physically fit and well-rounded is going to enhance your performance on the track. Okay? But if you're expecting for roller derby practice to also be your workout, you're not necessarily going to get fit enough to take that roster spot, fit enough to get that MVP, fit enough to be that all-star, fit enough to be the starting skater. That stuff is going to require that you do your training outside of practice so that practice can be about practice. Okay? Even just 30 minutes 3 times a week is a total game changer, which shameless plug for Roller Derby Training Club. Here, I'll even put it in the link in the thing. Hang on. But it is. It's really, it's something as simple as this. If you did this literally, trainingclub.com, if you did this literally 3 days a week for a month, you would be amazed at how much better you are at practice. Okay? And the final one is display a positive attitude and have great teamwork. Okay? The reality is, you guys, roller derby is a team sport, and coaches value skaters that are being positive, that are bringing and contributing to the supportive team environment.
Okay. So you really have to do things like show good sportsmanship, communicate effectively, and be a reliable teammate. Okay. So if you really want to get noticed by your coaches, if you want to get the most out of every practice, being an asshole at practice is the worst way to get the most out of every practice. Because if you have a shit attitude and you're cranky and you're complaining, what you're doing is you're focusing on the wrong things. Okay, you want to be focusing on how do I get better? How do I work with my team? Not, oh, this person did this person always does that. You have to make sure that you're showing up with a positive attitude because coaches want to skate and work with skaters that are fun to work with. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Crash Course is hiring right now, right? Like, we're hiring another head coach. And I'm looking for someone that's a great roller derby skater. But if they don't have a great attitude, if they don't sound fun to work with, I'm not going to take them just because they're a great skater, right? Even when we're interviewing people for Crash Course and Transformation to bring on as a new client, you know, they might show up and say, hey, I've got a work ethic, I'm ready to work. But if they're kind of like whiny and complainy, I'm probably not going to take them on as a client because it's not going to be fun for me. It's not going to be fun for my team, right? So similarly, at roller derby practice, you have to show up ready to work, ready to have fun, because you're going to get more out of practice when you're having fun. You're going to get more out of practice when you're having positive communication with your other skaters than you are if you guys are yelling at each other. So I'm going to just revamp these one more time. And then I want you to comment in the chat box with which one you're going to focus on this week at practice. Number 1, setting specific goals for yourself for that practice. Number 2, being consistent and committed and showing up with energy. Number 3, seeking feedback from coaches or top skaters. Number 4, pushing yourself outside of practice. And then number 5, showing a positive attitude and teamwork. So I am running out of light here, my friends. So I'm going to send you on your way, but I look forward to seeing your responses, and we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully I will have power and Wi-Fi, and this will oh, go a lot better. But we'll see you guys next week. Ciao!